This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I'm Ramsey personality George Camel, joined today by the inimitable Ken Coleman, host of The Ken Coleman Show, best-selling author, and we are here to take your calls, take your questions. Maybe it's about money, maybe it's about work, your purpose, a toxic boss, you're looking to change jobs, you're looking to move, sell a house, buy a car. There's 1,000 things rattling around in your brain, and we want to help you take the right next step for your future. So, phone lines are open. 888-825-5225 is the number to call. That's 888-825-5225. Jeremy's kicking us off in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Jeremy, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey there, how you doing?
Great. How can we help today?
Well, I just wanted to get some advice on, we recently sold our home, or we're selling our home, we haven't closed yet, and we're going to get a pretty good chunk of proceeds back. Some of that is allocated already to paying off a Chapter 13 in full, and the rest of it, I'm kind of trying to figure out what the best thing to do is. When we get the proceeds, we'll be 100% debt-free, cars will be paid for, Chapter 13 will be paid back in full, and then the only thing left hanging out there would be a 401k loan that we use as an original down payment through my work. And if we don't pay off if we don't pay off the 401k loan, we're going to come out with about $80,000 in proceeds left to us at the end of the day. The 401k loan is like $25K.
Okay, so what are the proceeds from this home sale?
The entire proceeds are $185,000.
$185,000?
Yes.
Okay, and what's the total debt, including the 401k loan, to pay off the Chapter 13?
It's 101, 100,000 plus the 25, so 125.
Okay, so even after paying off everything, you still have another $60K?
Correct.
That is a good spot to be in after going through what you guys have been through.
Where are you going? You sold the house, or you're in the process. Where were you planning to go? Buying another house? Renting? What's going on?
We're renting right now. Our ultimate goal is to build a new home.
Sorry,
Right.
Jeremy, speak directly into your phone for us.
Sorry, we're renting right now. We'll plan to build a new home, hopefully in the next couple of years.
Okay, so you're going to rent for a while, and you got $60,000.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's a good spot to be in. Yeah, I would rent for a while. I don't know the stipulations as far as when you're going to be able to get a mortgage again. Have you looked into that?
I have, and that's kind of part of why I'm unsure if we take the 401k loan and pay that off right away, or we wait, because we'll need 20% down. So if we did find something in the next, 6 months to a year.
Dude, you got to
would
pay
not
the
be able to make
401k
a
loan
move on
off.
it.
That thing is gone. We've got to start building for the future, and right now you're trying to pay for the past while building for the future, and it's going to leave you in a risky spot. So I would pay off all of your debt. I would have a fully funded emergency fund. Will you guys have that? Obviously, with the 60, part of that will become the emergency fund if you don't.
Sure. So what's the emergency fund is like 3 months expenses, right? 3 to 6?
3 to 6.
Okay.
How stable is your income and your family's income?
Very stable.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you want to lean towards 6, after what you guys have been through, I'd have some whiplash. I'd want to have as much financial peace and as much foundational security as possible.
Okay. So then would that kind of start back at, we would essentially be at your step number 3, correct?
Yes. And then you'd be saving up for the down payment, which, yes, it may take a little while. But I'm okay with that because, man, you clearly have been rushing into some financial decisions that led you to where you guys are, and I want you to never, ever have to go back to that again. So we've got to focus on behavior change instead of just math and what's going to work for the down payment. I don't care if it takes you 2, 3, 4, 5 years to save that down payment. Right now we've got to be focused on intentional decisions over a long period of time.
Jeremy, what's the household income?
Take home or annual?
Just give me the annual.
Or 150K a year.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, so you guys are going to have a fully funded emergency fund, and then you've got a good, decent chunk started towards a 20% down payment. But listen, I don't hear on you the joy that I would like to hear on you, because you're like, well, the down payment. No, get rid of all that debt, man. You are free. You are clear. You want to talk about a fresh start. And honestly, not just a fresh start, but a healthy start. A fully funded emergency fund and a percentage toward the 20%. You can rent. You're renting anyway. You're not wasting money. Jeremy, I'd like to hear a little more juice out of you, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. It's a little nerve-wracking, I guess, just trying to make sure that we don't get ourselves into the same.
Exactly. That's why I want you to move slow.
What would have to be true for you to get yourself back into the mess you just are about to clean up? What would have to be true?
Probably just not making a strongly educated decision.
Yeah. So are we going to ever take out another 401k loan? Yes or no?
No.
Are we going to take out any kind of debt at all ever again?
No.
Okay, great news.
There was too much hesitation there. I wanted a fast and hard no.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude, there's nothing for you to be nervous about. Nothing at all. When the time comes, George, let's finish this out. You've paid off your house.
Yeah.
You have 0 credit score. You teach people all the time you can buy a house without.
Oh, yeah.
With no debt, with no credit, nothing. You can buy a house. Tell him how he's going to be able to do it in 2 or 3 years.
Manual underwriting or a no-score loan is what you want to look for. Our friends at Churchill Mortgage, they do these all day, every day. And this is the right way to do it because you're not playing the credit score game, which, let me remind you, involves playing the debt game. You got to get into debt, pay it off perfectly, don't add too much, don't pay too much off too quickly. That's the most insane part. People get mad because they pay off debt and their credit score goes down. And we go, yeah, the system's rigged, man. So, Jeremy, you can rise above this entire system once and for all. And I know you guys have been through this bankruptcy, and that's got to be heart-wrenching. And I want you to look at that as your never-again moment. And that is why I want you to do this slow. Pay off all the debt, get the emergency fund to a healthy place, then we can focus on getting the down payment. You'll get there. You guys have a fantastic income. You've got your whole life ahead of you. How old are you?
I'm 38.
Oh, my
38.
gosh. You're
this is
young.
a great do-over,
Yeah.
and you still have an incredible life to live. You got a family?
Yep, I do. Wife and 2 kids.
I want those 2 kids to be the reason you get up every day and bust your butt and to make that money, to put yourself in a place where you have financial peace. And if you do that the low and slow way, man, you're going to be in a totally different place just a few months from now, a few years from now, where you never have to hear from a collector again. You never have to deal with a bankruptcy judge again. You never have to play the credit score game again. That's what this plan is all about, simplicity and freedom. Are you on board with that, Jeremy?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Amen.
All right, there it is.
I feel like that's as much as we're going to get from Jeremy.
He gave us all the juice that he could.
He gave it to us.
He's excited.
We appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if you want to learn more about bankruptcy, we did a whole episode on The Fine Print, our podcast on the Ramsey Network. Episode 8, Is Bankruptcy a Quick Fix for Struggling Americans? It was eye-opening. Go check it out.
Pop your popcorn. It's actually entertaining.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate that. Hey, more of The Ramsey Show coming up.
Look, I love real estate and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined today by my co-host, Ken Coleman. We are taking your calls, 888-825-5225. So this week, we announced that our Building Wealth live event is coming to both Las Vegas and Orlando this May. And building wealth is a hot topic right now. Everyone and their brother and their mother-in-law has an opinion on how to do it, whether it's crypto, single stocks, or zero-down real estate. On top of that, inflation has everyone freaking out, and so they're looking for some get-rich-quick schemes to combat it. So we're going to walk you through what's going on today and teach you how to build real wealth. The financial principles we teach are the only principles that work in prosperous times and in hard times. It is the quickest and surest way to become what we call a baby steps millionaire. So join me, Dave Ramsey, Rachel Cruz, Dr. John Deloney, and Ken Coleman as we unpack these principles and hot topics. So Las Vegas, we're coming to you on Thursday, May 5th. Orlando, we're coming your way on Thursday, May 19th. And stay tuned because we're going to have more events coming this fall.
We're back, folks. We're back on the road.
Me and Kenny Boy on the road.
Oh,
what
watch out. And I got to talk to Pete, our VP of Live Events. I think we should get a tiger for the stage in Vegas.
Hey,
feels right.
I won't be on that stage. I'll tell you that much. Me and a tiger don't mix. Well, hey, tiger or not, for just $25, you can attend this event, and we've got a really cool deal. You can get a 4-pack for only $60. For those of you doing the math, that brings it down to $15 a ticket if you can find 3 friends.
Now, by the way, we should point out right here, I think there's potential confusion with these talking points. Some of these Ramsey folks, all right, they're budget conscious. They hear 4-pack. That is not chicken tenders. That is tickets.
That's fair. A 4-pack
all right?
of
Just want to point out the difference.
A bundle, a ticket bundle, if you will.
Yeah. You start talking about a 4-pack, and people start looking for fries and a Coke with that.
Producer James got hungry there.
He did. He loves a 4-pack.
This is a great deal. So don't wait on this because the tickets are selling super fast. These events will sell out. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events if you want to learn more. Let's go to the phones. Kaylee joins us up next. She's in Madison, Wisconsin. Hey, Kaylee, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call.
Absolutely. How can Ken and I help today?
So I'm just calling because my husband and I recently got into a position where we are struggling to pay for our 4 walls. So I just wanted to kind of get some advice from you guys.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Kaylee.
What happened?
Yeah. Basically, I am a financial analyst in Madison, Wisconsin, and I'm making $60,000 a year, and I also received a $3,000 bonus this year. My husband is a real estate agent here, and with the housing market, it's been just a little rough. We also have 3 kids, so right now we're paying like $2,000 a month in childcare. So basically, after all of our expenses, we have like $300 left for groceries. So I just am wondering what we should do to change. I have a 2019 Honda Pilot with 34,000 miles on it. So I bought it for $36,000, and I can sell it for probably like $35,000. We also were gifted the mutual funds last year, $106,000, so quite a bit of money. So we have some things to fall back on, but
Kaylee, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
George will walk you through all of this, but we need to find out a little bit more. So, how much money is your husband making as a real estate agent?
Well, it totally depends on like the month. He made like $40,000 in a couple months, and then it was like just offers.
I totally understand. But I mean, if you look at last year, the year before, what's he making? What's the average?
Well, we just did our 2021 taxes, and our taxable income was $80,000.
Okay,
but you make $60,000.
After taxes, like after healthcare and dental and
okay, and then
my Roth IRA.
What kind of debt do you guys have? How much?
Well, in December we just paid off all of our debt. So
you're debt free?
We paid off our house, yes, yeah, we paid off our house, our car, and $79,000 student loans.
Wow,
so,
way to go!
Yeah, we've been working really hard, but I feel like we just hit a wall.
Well, Kaylee, I want to just encourage you that you guys are not in a dire situation. I know it feels like that because of the child care and there's not a lot of margin in your budget, but you don't have any payments to anyone except the mortgage, right?
We paid our house off, so it's literally just like...
Hold on. You guys have no payments in the world. Even making $60K in Madison, there's no money left over to eat and put food on the table and get gas in the car?
So after... my take-home pay is $3,400 a month, and childcare is $2,000 a month. Utilities are on average $250 a month. Our car insurance, maintenance, gas around $214 a month, and then it's just $50 for my phone, $75 for internet, and then $250 we have our kids in some sports right now. So it's like $300 some dollars for groceries. It's pretty tight.
Okay. Where's this emotion coming from? Is it because of the stress of the very little margin?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We just don't know when the next paycheck's coming on his side. So we used our emergency fund the last 3 months, so it's gone.
Okay.
Where is it going towards?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we were overspending. We were spending more than my income made, and pulling from his income. His income should just be savings, but we were pulling from it to pay for childcare and anything else. We were eating out, so we're not eating out anymore. I canceled Apple Music, Audible.
Is he on board? Is he on board with all this? I mean, because what I'm trying to piece together is, okay, so you guys walked the baby steps out, except for the fact that you didn't really adhere to the budget. You paid off debt, but you didn't really have a budget, and so you got yourself in trouble. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, George, I don't know if this is money advice. I got to tell you, your husband needs to stink and put his big boy pants on and step up. And I don't know why he's not selling houses in Madison, Wisconsin. It's not like you're in the slums. I don't have the real estate data in front of me, but if the housing market is so slow that he can't sell houses in Madison, he needs to get a better job. This is an income issue. I mean, you guys need to get your budget in place. But what is he doing?
Well, he's with the kids. So we...
Wait a second. You're spending $2,000 a month on child care.
Yeah, 18 hours a week is what we can afford. That's with our kids. Their school, they go to private school, so they're in their tuition plus childcare for our youngest, and then during the summer, it's all three of them. So the monthly average is $2,000 a month.
All right. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm not picking on your husband. I'm not trying to be unkind. Do you agree that this is an income issue with him? He can be and should be making more money, yes or no?
Yeah. Oh, we both think we should be.
Well, then he needs to get busy. And he needs to get busy.
We are looking. We are looking right now, both of us, but we just at a point where it's we've been looking at
Kaylee, I'm gonna give you a gift here. I want you and your husband to go watch all of the videos in Financial Peace University. I'm gonna give you a year to Ramsey Plus, and I want you to get on a written budget every month. I want to know where every single penny is going from your income. You make well above the average household income in America, and you don't have a payment in the world. You don't have debt. You don't have a mortgage. There's no excuse that you guys can't live your life with a little bit of margin.
Hey, George, I got to throw this in here, a practical thing. You got to sit down and be real about maybe pulling those kids out of private school for a season. A season.
Here's the four walls: food, utilities, housing, transportation. If you get those basic needs covered, everything else can go away. Every subscription, every private school, every sport, I don't care. Right now, we've got to get above water, and we got to figure out what the root of this is. And if it's overspending, we're buckling down on this budget because we can't live like this. You can't live with this much anxiety. You guys work too hard to be this broke. This is The Ramsey Show.
Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, Ramsey personality and host of The Fine Print, joined today by Ken Coleman, host of The Ken Coleman Show. He's co-piloting today, and we are taking your calls. And Ken, we just took an interesting call.
Very interesting.
From Kaylee in Madison, Wisconsin. And she was very emotional, very stressed out, a lot of anxiety, trying to keep up with their budget, their bills, their four walls. But the shocking part is completely debt-free, home is paid for, and they make $80,000 a year.
And it gets better. Have over $100,000 in mutual fund gifts that were recently given to them. And they just burned through their emergency fund. Burned through it for living expenses.
Which pointed us back to there's an issue here. And she admitted there's been some overspending.
Overspending, so that's the budget, right? No, don't have a budget. That's one issue. The other issue is, I'm just going to tell you, I am old school. I think when you have a income problem, you go get your stinking fanny to work. And the guy doesn't need to be home with the kids. And the other thing we identified is the four walls is what matters most. So what gets cut? $2,000 a month in private school.
On top of the child care, on top of kids' sports. This is over half of their income has been eaten up by this. And I'm sure most of America, they're like, yeah, that's how much child care costs, Ken.
Tell you what, man, and pay my taxes. I'm sending my kids to the old publicly funded child care. I'm telling Sparky to get his butt out and sell some houses in the hottest real estate market maybe in the history of the United States, or go get a better job. That's what needs to happen.
I think people get stressed and they back themselves into a corner and they feel stuck. And the best thing to do when you feel stuck is to go
get busy,
get to action.
Grab a shovel, man.
So with that, though, I wanted to talk about this idea of protecting your four walls. Everyone's experiencing the pain of inflation right now.
What are the four walls, George, for people who have never heard that?
Food, utilities, housing, and transportation.
Yeah.
If you have those four things, you're going to be okay. If you have food on the table, you can pay your light bill, your water bill, you've got shelter, somewhere to live, and you can pay to get to work, A and B. And we're not talking Maseratis here. This is just basic needs. Then you're going to be okay. And that's the first thing we tell you to cover before you cover anything else when you start our plan. So our team just published a great article called How to Combat Inflation and Protect Your Four Walls. And we're doing a series here. We just did one on food recently, and we're moving into utilities today to give you some quick tips. Again, none of these are life-changing. You're going to roll your eyes and say, okay, George, shut the lights off. Big whoop. That's going to save me big money. But I wanted to walk through some of this because it really is interesting. So inflation is the highest rate it's been in 40 years, about 8%. And since February 2021, energy prices have gone up by 25.6%. So we've got a few quick tips here on how to save when it comes to utilities. Number one, don't run appliances unless they're full.
Not only is that great advice for money, it irritates the stew out of me when kids are doing that.
There's three things in the laundry, two things in the dishwasher.
Yeah, let's pack it out, man.
So, and what's interesting, Ken, pre-rinsing, waste of time, waste of water. The dishwashers today are made to get the gunk off.
All right, now I got to tell you something.
Tell that to Stacy.
You're stepping on my toes. I'm going to take that home with me. I'm not even kidding right now.
This was not a dig at Stacy.
I am a pre-rinse. In fact, I'm the guy that not only do I pre-rinse, I give it a little bit of a scrub before I put it in there. Why am I doing this now?
You own a dishwasher, Ken.
You're telling me that I can put it in there with the caked pasta that was overcooked in the microwave? I have teenagers.
Do you live on Little House on the Prairie? What's going on here, man? Use the dishwasher. It's there for you.
No, you didn't answer my question. Will it? Kelly knows. I mean, come on.
Don't look at
teenagers.
Kelly. She's not going to save you.
They overcook stuff in the microwave, so like the pasta and the cheese is like embedded into the plate. You're telling me that the modern dishwasher will get that off?
Listen, Ken, I'm
you
not
don't
here
have
to be
answers, folks.
I'm not here to be the ShamWow pitchman to tell you how your dishwasher is going to change your life.
Until I know, folks, I'm going to continue with the rinse and light scrub before I put it in the dishwasher.
Sounds like a parenting problem.
Sounds like a control issue, I'm sure.
All right, moving on. Number 2, program your thermostat. I'm one of those millennials. I've got the smart thermostat. This is big. So if you're not going to be home all day, the heat doesn't have to be pumping through the house. You can save as much as 10% a year if you drop that thermostat down. And I know my wife is one of those who's just constantly cold. So we've got to have the heat blasting. But if you put on a few layers, you'll be okay.
What do you have it on in the winter, George?
I'm a 70.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
In the winter.
We are 66 degrees at night in the winter. 66. Chilly. I get up in the morning and my feet hit the tile in the bathroom. It's like, oh, welcome world.
I'm willing to pay a premium.
Up fast.
I'm willing to pay that premium too.
Not me.
My
you sleep
parents,
better when it's colder, by the way. Look it up. Sleep studies show.
Sure, at night. I drop it down to 67.
I said at night.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant during the day.
You said 70.
We're on the same page. Why are we fighting, Ken? You don't need to be doing this in front of the kids, in front of America. All right. So that's a big one, though. And smart thermostats can help with this. I've got one of those at home.
Yeah.
Super easy. Can control from my phone.
And by the way, don't let the kids operate it. Keep them away from it.
Get a lockbox on.
When I was growing up, my dad used to threaten a beating. You can't say that anymore, but like a real beating if I ever touched the thermostat. It was a no-go.
You are not allowed.
No touch.
That's smart. We need to get back to those days.
We do.
All right, lastly, this is a no-brainer. Use less. So if energy costs are busting your budget, one of the best things you can try to do is use less of it. And that means being intentional. Even those little things, it all adds up. Turn off the lights. Turn off the water while you brush your teeth. All of that stuff matters. Get LED light bulbs. There's all these little things.
You skipped over the light thing, and that should have been a major point, George.
Thank you.
Credit to you.
Thank you.
First of all, LED lights, game changer. You wouldn't believe the energy savings. They last longer on top of that. And here's the other thing. Turn the daggum lights off. Can't wait till all my teenagers are married and in their own homes. I'm going to go to their house, walk in every room, turn every light on.
We're just like the old curmudgeon guys on like Sesame Street in the balcony, just telling the kids to turn the lights off and get off our lawns.
I'm just telling you, I'm going to take great pleasure in turning every light on, leaving the refrigerator door open.
To that end, check your insulation. Make sure there's no drafts coming in. Make sure things are insulated well.
Yeah.
That's going to be big.
Energy windows.
Change your filters. That's a big one. You want to make sure all your appliances are running efficiently. So do a little audit this weekend and see what happens next month. See if you don't save a few bucks.
Yeah. A lot of people just tuned in for the first time ever, and they think they're listening to a home improvement show.
Listen, I'm Tim the Toolman Taylor.
That's
you
me. Wish.
So you can check out the blog at RamseySolutions.com. It's called How to Combat Inflation and Protect Your Four Walls. We're going to be going through some other areas like housing and transportation coming up on the show, so stay tuned for that. All right, let's go to the phones. Joel joins us in Portland, Oregon. Joel, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you, and good afternoon, gentlemen.
How can we help?
I am 35 years old. I have never been in debt in my life. I've discovered this channel on YouTube. It's been pretty entertaining to watch. And I'm thinking about going in debt for the first time in my life.
Whoa!
And so I'm hoping you guys will either endorse me or maybe talk me off the edge.
You know we're not going to endorse you, Joel.
How long you been watching?
Well, hear me out.
All right, let's hear him out. Let's hear him out.
No,
Again,
why?
Give him a shot.
No, I don't want to hear this out.
It'll be entertaining, at the very least.
30 seconds.
So
you have 30 seconds. 30 seconds as to why you should get debt for the first time in your life. Go.
Okay, so my wife and I are stable, educated, good income, household take-home pay of about $130,000 a year. We own a home valued probably around $750,000, which we bought from my mother, and for a very, very good price. And now we've got this home, and we want to start building a dividend snowball. We want to start building something that's going to start compounding and building up. Now, we can do what we're doing and save and pay with cash and do it little by little, but we've got this valuable thing we're living in called a house. And my wife said, well, what if we borrowed against the house? You continue to work, pay the bank for the payments, but we could get some cash right away to put in and get a big snowball.
It's a horrible
started
idea.
Rather than start with a small snowball.
Horrible.
And these some of these dividends are paying much higher rates than the interest rate that the bank would be, so charging us. So is the math not working out? What am I missing?
You've just got a little starry-eyed about the money you could be making when right in front of you, you've got a fantastic income. Mm-hmm. You have some great wealth-building tools at your disposal, a 401k, an IRA, good growth stock mutual funds. Don't try to play a shortcut game, man. It's going to end with you getting burnt, and I don't want that for you. You guys have done so well. There's no reason to go into debt. You guys have this amazing house, a great income. You're doing great.
You're not behind. I think this is the message if I could share with your wife. You guys aren't behind. You're ahead of the game. Relax.
Stay the course, man. Your greatest wealth-building tool is your income, and when you pay it to lenders, you don't get to keep it, and you don't get to build wealth. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back, America. You are listening to The Ramsey Show. I am Ramsey personality George Camel, joined today by Ken Coleman. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Blinds.com's 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, like Ken and I would probably do.
I've done that.
They will remake your blinds for free.
True story, mismeasured because I'm an idiot.
You're not an idiot.
When it comes to these kind of things, I'm an idiot.
It's very stressful.
Yeah, they help me out. Very good people. I apologize profusely. They're like, no problem, Mr. Coleman.
They called you Mr. Coleman.
Yeah, well,
I like that level of respect.
Yeah.
Give them a shot.
Yeah.
So with Blinds.com, free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. You can use promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Brian in Missouri. He asks, I'm 27 years old and I have been working in the natural gas industry since I was 20. I don't have a degree and I make very good money and enjoy the work. The last few years, it has seemed that our country is moving away from my industry. I have a fear that late in my career I could be out of a job. Is this a rational fear or am I paranoid? Should I be looking into other careers? Okay, Brian. First of all, I think it's a good question, right? It's a forward-thinking question. What's going on in the natural gas industry? Are these real trends that we need to be worried about? Or is it just kind of the ups and downs as we see new types of energy become available for consumers? Two things on this. I'm not a natural gas expert, but I have a hard time believing that the natural gas industry is going to completely go away. I just don't see that going away. It is still cost effective, and I think it's very viable. However, you are in the industry, and you need to talk to real industry experts in your company, do your homework, and figure out, is this something that over time is going to go completely away? That would be the first question. So I don't think that you need to be fearful. I think that you need to be vigilant. There's a difference. I'm looking, I'm watching, I'm scanning the future, kind of seeing what's moving, but I'm not going to be fearful. Now, the second thing, George, that I would say to Brian is you do a certain type of work in the natural gas industry, right? So you aren't someone who is only capable of working in that industry. You are in, let's call it the energy industry. So therefore, whatever you do in your day-to-day work and the skill set that you've developed, plus the experience that you've developed, is all going to allow you to move into multiple different industries. So from that standpoint, I wouldn't be afraid at all.
Yeah, I think these skills are going to transfer to whatever industry, if it even does go away, Ken, like you're talking about. I don't know that it will in our lifetime.
I honestly can't see it unless natural gas just becomes a almost like an extinct resource. But I got to tell you, I use it all the time. I've got a world-class griddle, George. It's huge. And it connects right to the old gas line.
Natural gas. People love it.
And
people love to cook on it.
Man, let me tell you something.
All over the country.
It's fantastic.
So, yeah, I don't see it going away anytime soon, but I think he does have a right to stay afoot with
He's
the
a
trends.
smart guy. I would get the facts.
Unless I start seeing other natural gas companies shut down, layoffs are happening all around me, I see the writing on the wall. But let's not lose sleep over that right now.
No.
That could be 30, 40, 100 years from now. We just don't
Here's
know.
the key, and I want other people to hear this because this is a relevant question for a large portion of our audience. Your skill set and your experience is transferable. I'm going to say it again. Your skill set and your experience is transferable. You might need to get a certification here or there, but the bottom line is you are not stuck in one industry. And I get this call all the time on the Ken Coleman Show. Ken, I'm a teacher. I want to get out. Ken, I'm a nurse. I want to get out, or whatever it is. We hear this the most from our military men and women. They feel like because they've only had a career in the military that they can't get a job in the private sector. And I said, wait a second. You work for one of the great organizations in the world, and you have skills, yes or no, and you have experience. And then where is that transferable in the private sector? And the reality is, in today's world, our military men and women are just premium because of their discipline, because of their character and commitment. So don't get too scared. Just start looking into it.
Good encouragement for Brian there. Thanks for the question. All right, open phones this hour. 888-825-5225 is the number to call. Leanne joins us in Macon, Georgia. Leanne, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, how are y'all doing?
Great. How can we help?
Okay, so me and my husband are on baby step 2. We should be finished September 2023.
Nice.
My husband makes about $5,000 a month. That covers our 4 walls and our minimum debt payment. My income is commission-based, but that's what we're doing our snowball off of. My mother-in-law, and my father-in-law all live on our property. Then none of them have any retirement or any savings. They're all in their 60s and subpar health. And I'm trying to figure out if we need to fix our budget to be able to afford long-term care insurance for them because they can't, or if it should just be because they would qualify for, well care or welfare, whatever you call that. But I know that's not the best option, so I'm trying to figure out which route we need to take.
That's a great question, and you sound like just an incredible woman for taking this on. Mom, mother-in-law, and father-in-law, and they're broke.
They're unable to work?
My father-in-law has an amputation, so he has disability. My mother-in-law just lost her job 2 weeks ago. She was laid off. My mom currently works, but she has a ton of debt, student loans, medical bills, consumer debt, just the whole 9 yards.
Well, they need to pay off their debts. They need to be working if they're able to work. I don't want you to take on the burden of these 3 folks who have not done a good job taking care of themselves, because that's going to put both of you guys in a hole. You've got your own path, your own financial journey you're on. I think it's great that you're letting them live on the property, but they need to get to work if they can, and she needs to get this debt, the medical debt negotiated, the student loans paid off, and get back to work. And I know there's been some setbacks. It sounds like they're a little bit downtrodden, it sounds like.
Yeah.
What was your mother-in-law doing before she was laid off?
She worked in a medical office doing billing.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to tell you, I mean, she replaces that job, and now if they have some discipline, I think George is right. I think you're kind enough to let them live there, and I think if you sit down with them and go, hey, we can help you, but here's the only way we can help right now beyond what we're doing, and that is helping you understand budgeting. George, let's give them some financial resources for the in-laws and mom here.
Oh, absolutely. We can definitely do that.
Yeah.
So, Leanne, are they paying you guys anything to live on the property?
They help pay the electric bill because our well is together and things of that nature. And we have cows and chickens, and they pay for the feed.
So we're talking like $50 a month. This isn't a lot.
It's not, no.
Okay. So therefore, any income they do have can be put to use because they don't really have living expenses. And so I think they've gotten a little comfortable living on your property, to be honest, and they don't feel like there's any real rush to get themselves in financial order.
Bingo.
Therefore, you shouldn't be in a rush to get them in financial order. They have to care more than you do.
Bingo, bingo, bingo.
Yeah.
Leanne, I want to make sure you heard what George just said. I think he just dropped some absolute truth on you. And I'm not trying to be unkind to your in-laws and your mom. There's no urgency. And I'm going to tell you why. And I get it. And I'm not knocking on them. It's just this is the human condition. there's no urgency because their four walls are essentially taken care of. George has been talking about the four walls all week. And so there's no urgency for them to dig themselves out.
You've already done them a big kindness. You do not need to enable them financially by paying for long-term care, paying for any of their debt. That is not on you. Those are decisions they made. They are grown adults, and they have to deal with the consequences of that. And that's not unkind, but you guys have your own journey ahead of you. So you got to put your mask on first before we go helping them out. So should they get long-term care? Yes. If they can't afford it, tough cookies. They're going to have to deal with some really terrible health care in their old age, and I don't want that for them. But it's not on you to spend half of your income trying to make sure that they're taken care of while your family suffers financially.
You're doing
That's
great.
what I needed to hear. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And Leanne, listen, Leanne, you're doing great. You and your husband are doing awesome. You're going to be out of baby step 2 before you know it, and you're going to get in baby step 3, and you guys are going to be able to model this to them. You just keep doing what you're doing. You're crushing it.
Here's a gift for you, Leanne. We're going to give you 1 year of Ramsey Plus. Hang on, Kelly's going to pick up. I want you to all watch the Financial Peace University's videos together as a family. 9 videos, and get every single person on a budget. This is going to be a fun family financial affair. 3 F's in there.
Yeah, Leanne, I'm okay with you buying the popcorn. Buy the popcorn for the videos. Other than that, they got to do it.
I like this. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I'm Ramsey personality George Camel, joined today by Ken Coleman, best-selling author and host of The Ken Coleman Show. And we are taking your calls, America. If you've got a question, you need some validation, affirmation, confirmation, motivation, education, we are here for you. And Ken specifically focuses on career, your work, your purpose, what you were born to do, and he's going to help you map out a plan to get you there. And I can help you with all things money. And generally, Ken, they're intertwined. It's amazing how that works.
Yeah,
because work
kind of
creates income.
To separate them, yeah.
Yeah, and income creates impact. Income means you can get your financial goals accomplished. And so we are here for you. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. Joe kicks us off. He's in Logan, Utah. Joe, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How can we help?
I'm just looking for some advice on how to move forward a little bit with my life and with my family. As quick of a background as I can, real quick. So I'm an apprentice electrician. It's a 4-year program, and I'm done with the schooling for the fourth year. I just need to take the test. But over the last few years, I had a company that they just kind of changed their business model. They didn't need another apprentice anymore, and so they let me go. And so I went on to another job in a cabinet shop, and it kind of worked out a thing with the owner there that potentially I could buy him out when he retired. And after about a week of that, he realized that he doesn't have any of the big equipment to move the big sheets that they use, and they're like 80 to 90 pounds and 8 feet long and really awkward, and I'm not a big guy, so he had to let me go just because I wasn't as big as him.
Joe, you sound defeated. Have you been kind of beat down at every turn, you feel like?
Yeah. I've got a wife and 2 beautiful little girls, and I feel like I've worked really hard and tried to do everything right, and I don't feel like I can provide for them.
Okay, so let me go back just a bit. You're about ready to finish up your 4-year apprenticeship to be an electrician. When do you finish that up?
Yes.
And do you want to be an electrician? Because it seems like that's a great way to provide right now.
Well, I'm just waiting on some. I can't get a hold of them, but I'm trying to get some paperwork from my previous employer.
For what?
And so that I can go and take the state licensing test, and then I'll be set.
Okay, so
I'll have my journeyman's license.
Great. And what kind of money? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Anyways, after that cabinet job, I started with another company, and I just feel like I got kind of burned there and stabbed in the back a little bit by some people that I trusted, and I got asked to look for another job there as well. And so I just don't. That was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I have no desire to stay in the electrical field anymore. My dad's an electrician, and while he's done okay, he also half-jokingly says all the time he's still trying to decide what he wants to be when he grows up.
Okay, I see.
So he doesn't have a passion for it, and you're realizing that you don't necessarily have a passion for it either? You just kind of fell into it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are we doing to pay the bills? Let's start there. Let's get stable, because it sounds to me like you're just beat down, you're scared, you feel like a big failure, none of which is true. You're not a failure, and there's nothing to be scared about if you get busy. So what do we have for employment right now? Are you currently employed?
Yes, I am. I'm working right now.
Okay, great. Are you bringing in enough to take care of everybody?
For right now, we ended up selling our house. We had moved to Idaho for one of these jobs, and when that ended, we figured there wasn't anything that was keeping us there, so we sold our house and moved back to Utah, and we're just staying with my parents while we're kind of on the in-between trying to figure things out.
Okay, so the point is you got everything. We're not in a storm right now. We're just in some confusion. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's about right.
So what do you want to do, Joe? I know you got an idea in your head, and if you're insecure about it, I want you to shake all that off and just tell me. What is it that you would like to do, Joe? You've had to wonder about it with all those crappy electrician experiences and cabinet making, none of which you wanted to do. What do you want to do, Joe?
Well, I feel like I do pretty well with people and public speaking kind of things, so I'd like to work with people a little bit, and I love the outdoors, so I'd like to be in the outdoors industry in some way, going to either working or owning an archery shop or working for a bigger outdoors company and going to trade shows for them.
Joe, I like it. Now we're moving somewhere. Now, this doesn't mean that this is the thing, but I'm jumping in really quick because our time is limited with you, and I want you to hear what I just heard. You're really good with people. You like to connect with people, so you want to do people-type work, but you also love being outdoors, and you like the outdoor environment. Did I hear this correctly?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. I love the idea. I would put it on the list. All right. So right now it's almost like we get out that old school poster board. George doesn't know what this is because he's a millennial. But George, back in the day, we'd get a poster board. You could buy it in your grocery store, and you get out a marker and you just kind of ideate on it. And I think one of the ideas, Joe, is working for a large outdoor retailer, and you could be in sales or you could be in customer service. Maybe you could eventually get into training. All of those are people-focused work. True or false?
True.
And you'd do pretty good at those things, wouldn't you? Just those three ideas. True or false?
I think I could do all right.
Come on, Joe. Joe! You told me you were good with people. Could you excel in those three types of positions if you put your mind to it? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Of course you could. So I like that idea. Maybe you go to work for a large company like that. You get your confidence up. You see a company like that where you can grow. You move up the ladder. You got good benefits. You save some money. Maybe you start a little expedition side hustle where you're taking people on guided hunting or fishing trips or whatever. Am I starting to say things you like, Joe?
Yeah, a lot of ideas that I've played with.
All right, Joe, stop playing. Stop playing and start doing. Stop playing with the ideas and start doing. You understand? So we're looking for a job that will allow you, let's keep this simple, because this is what you're looking for in job descriptions, Joe. I'm looking for a job where I'm very people-facing. I'm spending most of my day communicating with people, maybe in a sales role, a customer service role, maybe some type of training role, but I'm just communicating with people. And if I'm connected to the outdoors or I'm doing that in the outdoors, woo, all right, now we got some juice. And now we build on that, Joe. Hang on the line. I want to give him a copy of my best-selling book, From Paycheck to Purpose, which will help solidify this process that we just got started. Joe, hang on. We're going to get that to you.
I'm excited for you, Joe. More breakthrough coming up right here on The Ramsey Show.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined today by Ken Coleman, and we are taking your calls, work, money, relationships, you name it. It's your life, and we are here to talk about it in front of all of America, and it's a good time. Nate is joining us up next. He is in Las Vegas, Nevada. Nate, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, George Camel with a K, and not just Mr. Coleman, but
you were listening to Ken yesterday, weren't you?
Yes, I think so.
I was.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I appreciate the mister, but call me Ken the rest of the time.
All right.
What's going on with you, Nate? How can we help?
Hey, so I've been listening for about 3 years, and I just want to tell you guys thanks for the great job you guys do. And me and my wife, we got out of debt, and everything's improved. Our marriage is improved, finances, everything. So
that's awesome
job,
to hear.
The whole shebang.
Fantastic.
So, but my question is, and I haven't heard about this before, where would you guys put a health savings account in your baby steps? Is that part of your emergency fund, your full fund, or is that considered part of an investment thing?
This would be somewhere in between. It's not really an emergency because if your HVAC goes out, we're not going to go dip into the HSA to pay for that. And it can be an investment.
Sorry, not HVAC, health savings account.
Oh, yeah, I heard you say HSA, but that's a health savings account. And so you said, is this considered the emergency fund? And there's just too many other emergencies outside of health. So we don't want to put it there. And the HSA is going to be a separate account. And where in the baby steps do you contribute? That's your question, right?
Yes.
So what baby step are you guys on currently?
So we're on 4, 5, 6.
Great.
And we're currently doing 15%. I guess that's another question in the question. We maxed out 2 Roth. We're both self-employed. And so the remainder over the top of that, I don't know if I should put it in a SEP IRA or a solo 401k.
Yeah, those are both great options if you're self-employed.
Okay.
And they have real high contribution limits. So I would get in touch with a SmartVestor Pro to figure out what option is best for you based on your business and your income and all that stuff. But you guys are doing great. So let's talk about this HSA. Have you guys been contributing? Obviously, you have one. You have a high deductible healthcare plan?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we contributed and maxed it out last year. and we're planning on doing the same thing this year. I just don't know where,
Well, we tell people
max out all my.
I want you to have enough to cover your annual deductibles.
Okay.
In baby step 4 through 6. I personally wouldn't be maxing it out until you're in baby step 7 with a paid-for house, because all of that extra money needs to be going towards the house. Once you're in baby step 7, you can go hog wild and max it out.
Yeah, so I guess we're in 3B, 4, 5, 6. So we're saving for a down payment, but we're not pausing retirement.
Okay. So your HSA, is it maxed out right now? You've got enough in there to cover your medical expenses for the year, deductibles, all that?
I think we're close to what our year for an individual would be, but not for the family.
Are you guys pretty healthy?
Yeah, we're a young family, 2 little kids. So.
Okay. Well, I would dial back on the HSA. I wouldn't max it out. I want you guys to get that down payment. I want you to make sure you're investing 15%, make sure we're saving for college, make sure we're getting the house paid off. And once you're through all of that, you're in the house is paid for, then I would be focusing on maxing out the HSA as part of my retirement investing strategy, because there's some great, great tax advantages there. But right now, it feels premature to be maxing it out while saving for the down payment, and then you're going to want to pay off the house. So we just have too many goals going on at once right now.
Okay.
So I would dial it back, make sure you have enough to cover your deductibles. Beyond that, let's throw it at the down payment.
Okay.
Sweet.
And so, after we start doing the HSA, because once you get a certain amount in there, you can
invest
put those into limited investments. Would you recommend doing that as well?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Find some good growth stock mutual funds with a proven track record in there, and that's a great retirement solution because of the tax advantages in there. So that's a great part of your portfolio long term. So I love you doing that, but right now we have some other goals too. So yes, invest the money once it's past that threshold. Beyond that, let's get the down payment in place. Thanks so much for the call, Nate. Appreciate you. Moving on, we are going all the way to Boston, Massachusetts, my hometown. Alex joins us there. Alex, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Great. How can we help?
All right, so I'm 25, and I just started my career. I'm on pace to make about $120,000 this year. I have $16,000 in debt and $15,000 in savings. I'm in a good spot where my monthly expenses are about $1,200 to $1,400, but it's not the nicest neighborhood. How long should I stay here, and how much money should I have before I start looking to buy a home?
Great questions, man. 25, making $120K in Boston. Way to go. You got $15K in savings, $16 in debt. So my question is, how quickly can you save up? Let's see. If you put $1,000 aside, that gives you $14, so you need $2K more. How quickly could you get $2K saved up and just pay all this debt off?
This Thursday, actually, should get just about that.
Great. Well, our plan is the fastest, surest way to build wealth. So if you're following our plan, baby step 1, $1,000 emergency fund. You have that. That leaves you with 14. I would throw all 14 at the 16K of debt, leaving you with 2K left. And you're probably going to free up some payments along the way, right? What kind of debt is this?
Sure. It's a car and credit cards.
Okay. So this is going to free up some payments, which is going to help you get that debt out of your life even faster. Then I want you to build back up your fully funded emergency fund, which is 3 to 6 months of expenses. You just told me they're about $1,400?
That's correct.
Okay. So you're looking at what? Let's call it $10,000 to be safe?
Sure.
Now we have $10,000. Then we can focus on 3B, which is where we'd save up for the house down payment. And in Boston, that's going to be tough, right? I mean, what are places going around your area that you'd want to live?
I'd say 4 to 6.
Okay. So if we're talking 400, I would want you to save up 10%, 20% is ideal to avoid the private mortgage insurance, PMI. But let's say you save up 10%. How quickly could you then save up $40,000, making $120 a year with not a payment in the world and a fully funded emergency fund?
Probably by the end of the year.
Boom.
Yeah.
You feel the progress, Alex?
Yeah, I like this, but
yeah.
And Alex George has just beautifully walked you through the question, the answer to your question. But I have to know, why do you feel like you need to get a house anytime soon? Didn't you say you're a young guy? 20?
Yeah, it's not the 25, not the safest neighborhood.
What neighborhood is it?
It's in Lowell.
Okay.
Oh,
well, you can move. Do you work around there?
I do, yeah.
All right, so here, let me ask it another way. Are you in a serious relationship? You think, you planning to be married in the next 2 to 3 years?
No, not at the moment.
Yeah, well, my point is, I'd rent with all these new savings that George just walked you through. I'd rent in a nicer area, and I would stay renting until I knew that I was ready to plant by buying a house. I'm not against a single person buying a house.
Sure.
I'm just saying until you know, because here's my point: you could buy a house for you, and then you meet the person of your dreams, and then they got an opinion all of a sudden.
That's true.
I'd hold tight. I think you could save the money like George is talking about, but I wouldn't be in any kind of hurry to buy. I would just keep going along and just
I'd want
building
you to get
wealth.
the emergency fund in place before you move. How much more would rent be in a safer area?
Looking at around $2,000 a month.
Compared to what? What are you paying now?
Right around $750.
Oh, wow. That's a big jump. You have roommates?
I don't know.
Wow, $750 in the Boston area is impressive for rent.
If I'm a single dude, I'm getting a roommate.
Yeah, would you be opposed to getting a roommate?
I've lived alone for about a year now. I'm kind of liking it. I don't know.
Sure, you like it, but $2,000 is a lot for you to be forking over to rent.
Right. That's my predicament.
So there's a trade-off there. I don't want your rent to be more than 25% of your take-home pay.
Yeah, but you don't have the money for it to be able to buy a house.
And you're looking at a 30-year. And I don't want you in debt for 30 years, man. You're a young dude. I want you to be financially successful, to build wealth. 15-year fixed-rate mortgage, 10 to 20% down, where the payment is no more than a quarter of your take-home pay. And when it comes to rent, I want it to be the same. No more than a quarter of your take-home pay, because you've got financial goals. And I want you to hit all of those. And so we've got to do this the smart way. You're going to be all right. We'll get you out of that sketchy area in no time. Follow the plan, man. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined today by Ken Coleman. And on the debt-free stage in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Chris and Sarah join us. How are you guys?
Good.
We're good.
Where are you coming from today?
Richmond, Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah.
All the way to do a debt-free scream, huh?
Yep.
Yes.
How much debt did you guys pay off?
About $26,600.
All right. Wonderful. And how long did that take?
About 38 months.
Wonderful. And what was the range of income during that time?
We started out about $42,000, got up to about $76,000, and I think right now we're set to make about $65,000 this year.
Awesome.
Wow. What do you guys do?
So I'm currently an RN at VCU Medical Center, and then Sarah works at a Montessori Kids Universe as a teacher.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for both of your public service. That's fantastic. Now, tell us about this debt, $26,600. What was that comprised of?
Mostly student loans and debt to my parents, personal debt.
Oh, personal loan in there.
Yep.
That always makes things interesting at Thanksgiving.
Right.
All right. So we had the student loan and the personal loan, and you guys decided 38 months ago that you just didn't want to have these hanging around your neck anymore. What happened 38 months ago?
So we had just gotten back from our honeymoon. We had found a church we wanted to go to. My wife had heard that they were going to do Financial Peace University at the church we were attending, and she said, "Hey, I think we should do this." And I was like, "Okay, I feel like I was pretty good with money, but I was like, it won't hurt. We can always try to learn something."
Yeah, as I felt like, because I grew up in a house with similar principles to Ramsey, and I was like, when we got back and spent, like, I don't remember how much, it was a lot for groceries. So like, this is we're not doing something wrong here.
So you gave Chris the nudge of like, hey, what if we went to Financial Peace University? That could be fun.
And at the time, I didn't know it was a Dave Ramsey thing. I just like, it has to do with finances. We could use something to know about finances.
And Chris, you were kind of hesitant about this?
I mean, I was willing to do it, but it was just a matter of like, I feel like I do money pretty well, but, you know.
So you thought you were crushing it with money. You're like, I'm good. I think I could teach this class.
Maybe not that good, but good enough.
But you guys went through it, and it clearly got you on the path.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What was the journey like? What were the sacrifices along the way, the hardest parts, the fun parts?
I think at first the biggest thing was just like, hey, you know, we need to cut back on groceries because our like first grocery bill was like $500 for the month, for the week, and yeah, we just wanted to save that money up. There was definitely some road bumps along the way, to say the least.
Yeah. Shortly after we started the journey, we had put our emergency fund into this online account, but it wasn't very reachable. And we were trying at the time to sell some furniture, and the bank we were at the time, it was some fraudulent checks, and they decided to shut all of our accounts down. And
they froze them.
Yes, they froze them.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was like all of our money was in limbo.
Yeah, and they basically told us, hey, you got to leave. You know, we can't let you bank here anymore. So.
Wow, you get kicked out of your own bank.
Yeah. Needless to say, we don't trust them anymore, not to give away any names. But.
Right.
What does it rhyme with?
Trust. It ends in trust.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so I've got to learn about your shirts. They say you're going to want to give up. Don't.
Yeah.
Yes. What's that mean?
Well, it was just shirts that the church provided for us for Financial Peace University. So I think it's just a saying that's like basically, you're going to have some tough times. You're going to want to, give up, quit, walk away from it. But, the payoff is bigger than the sacrifice you have to make in the here and now.
What was the hardest part for you guys?
Probably just limiting ourselves. Like, when we started out, they were saying, the person who led it was like, you probably should have a little bit of money to kind of spend on yourself, just a tiny amount. And so we set it to be like $40 a month, for like a movie or just to go out to eat once a month or something like that. So that was kind of hard because every now and then it's like, it'd be nice to just go to Subway. And it's like, we already spent that money.
Yeah, and I think also just getting... Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. To the point where we were just not spending as much and getting. I think we started off Dave-ish, and we wanted to continue our 401ks and. Still had our credit cards, but probably about week 5 or 6 in this class, we were like, if we're gonna do this, we got to do it right.
All in.
Yeah.
All in.
Dave-ish gets you ish results. That's not impressive. Well, you guys did this stuff. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Just sticking to it. Like our budget doesn't change much month to month. We keep it pretty much the same, and just kind of providing encouragement for each other whenever we need it.
Yeah, and not giving up. And I also think trusting God to provide, because I know there was a few times where it was like really tight and we were like, where's this money coming from? And we get an unexpected check, or like the stimulus checks definitely helped us out too. So.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Finally, a stimulus check going to something good.
There we go.
That's
right.
good.
So I assume that you had a Y in this picture, and I can hear her in the background. And you brought her with us today.
Of course.
What's her name and age?
Aria, and she's 10 months old.
Precious. Well, she's here. She's kicking. She's screaming.
She's ready to
go. I think she's ready to go
to
do this debt-free scream. You guys have worked for it. We are so proud of you guys. You're heroes. Love the shirts. Great encouragement. You're going to want to give up. Don't.
Nope.
It's that simple and it's that hard. I love it. All right, let's get to it. Chris and Sarah and Aria from Richmond, Virginia. $26,600 paid off in 38 months, making $42 up to $76, back to $65. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free!
That is how you do it. A family tree change.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Absolutely.
Sacrifice, diligence, intentionality.
Yep.
All of those words come to mind. Way to go, Chris and Sarah. All right, guys. If you're wondering whether to buy or sell a home this year, I've got some answers. You can expect the market to be a lot like last year with prices still on the rise, but interest rates are expected to go up too this year. So what can you make of all this? Well, if you're buying a home, you might be up against some heavy competition and some hefty price tags. We're seeing that all over the country. So if you want to sell your home, chances are it will sell quickly and for top dollar, which is great. Of course, that all depends on where you are because every real estate market is different. But to win in any market, you really have to know what you're doing. This is not amateur hour. You got to work with someone who knows what they're doing, not your brother-in-law who just got his real estate license who's never sold a house. We have experienced real estate agents at your fingertips through our endorsed local provider program. These are called Ramsey Trusted Pros, and they care about your values, and they care about keeping more money in your pocket. They're going to do right by you, and they are the pros that we trust to help you buy or sell a home. So check out RamseySolutions.com/agent to connect with a Ramsey Trusted Pro who can help you navigate your local market. That's RamseySolutions.com/agent. Wow. The housing market, Ken, it's a stressful one for a lot of people.
Yeah, it really is.
A lot of FOMO out there. A lot of people looking to sell, but then they got to turn around and buy. And they go, well, they could get us out of debt. And so there's a lot of reasons to sell these days. Mm-hmm. But at the top of the market, you got to turn around and buy at the top.
To stay, though.
Yeah.
For that very reason. You might sell at the top, but then you're going to overpay for something. So, be patient. Really think this kind of stuff through. And I also think, you're going to have certain areas of the United States that are going to stay really, really hot. We saw that through past recessions. But I think you're going to see a resetting. Remember, there's been a kind of a pause, a moratorium, if you will, on delinquent house payments and renters. That's going away soon. Watch out. Going to be a lot of pain.
Mark his words,
I'm telling you, it's just a fact. It's coming.
Yeah, we'll do it the right way and work with a pro. Again, this is not amateur hour. Work with a pro who knows what they're doing. They can help you make the right financial decision. Because let me remind you, it's the biggest financial decision you will ever make. Don't go it alone. Check out our agents, RamseySolutions.com/agent to find one in your area. This is The Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, Ramsey personality and host of the Fine Print and Entree Leadership Podcast. Joined today by my good friend Ken Coleman, best-selling author and host of The Ken Coleman Show. You can find all those shows, including this one, on the Ramsey Network and wherever you listen to podcasts. Barbara joins us up next. She's in Virginia Beach. Barbara, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. We're happy to help. What's going on?
So I have two beautiful adult children, a son 33 and a daughter 31. My son is nice and stable, married, and I'm waiting for grandkids. But my daughter just celebrated her 1 year of sobriety.
Oh, that's
now,
wonderful.
I'm thrilled about that. It's wonderful. She's in a great program. But I'm asking, my concern is that I have not a lot, but some 401k money, some beneficiary money through my pension plan. And when she was, drinking, I didn't give her any of the beneficiary, any of the money. I gave it all to my son, and we discussed the fact that he might be able to be like a keeper of the money, so to speak, if I were to pass and his sister was still drinking. But now that she's sober, I'm wondering, should I put her back at 50%, which was my original plan? And just a little caveat here, they both inherited money from their grandmother when she passed. My son put his back into a 401k. My daughter spent all of hers, as you can probably figure, somewhat of it on alcohol. So with a year sober under her belt, should I take that chance? Should I keep it at maybe 25%? and then hope that my son follows through, or just go 50-50 and take a chance.
What's the conversation been like with her about what she would get if and when you passed?
I haven't actually discussed it with her.
Okay.
Just my son.
Is there some reason that because you said something a minute ago, you said, should I trust that my son will follow through? Is there any reason to believe that he wouldn't follow through on your wishes?
No, it's just that I'm thinking if I pass and she's back to drinking, he would hopefully keep that money for her, but, there's no guarantee what's going to happen. Otherwise, he is very trustworthy, though, and he's very responsible. So I think he would, but it's a lot to ask him for, to be the keeper of his sister's inheritance.
I think he's up to it. I really do. You haven't given me any evidence to believe that he wouldn't be able to do it. You had the conversation with him, obviously, correct?
Yes.
And he understood it totally? Was he in agreement? Did he have questions, or that makes you think he doubts that it's the right thing?
No, he was fine with it. We didn't go into a lot of detail. So I think at that point he figured, if she's drinking, he doesn't want her to blow through the money like he did with her grandma's. But I just, he is 33. He's an adult, but at the same time, it's a lot of responsibility. So, so the other idea was thinking, should I put it into a trust for her instead, with the caveat of she's got to be, X number of years sober for her to touch it? Or I don't even know if I can do that, actually.
You can do whatever you want in a trust.
Yeah, you can.
It's incredible what you can do there. So, Barbara, how old are you?
I'm 63.
Okay, so you got a long ways to go here. What I might do, I would have an honest conversation with both of them and say, hey, listen, I want to leave you both the 401ks, all of this, when I pass. I want to stair-step into this. I love that you're sober. I'm so proud of you. But I want to make sure that I never become an enabler for you or cause you to do any harm to yourself. So here's what I want to do. Every year, I'm going to increase the beneficiary amount until it gets to 50%. Every year that you're sober. And so that way there's some incentive, not that this is what's keeping her from drinking, obviously. I mean, she's sober on her own volition, and I love that. But it could be a way to say, hey, every year we're going to stair-step this into it, and in 5 years' time, we're going to get to that 50% where she gets half. That's one way to do it.
That's a great idea. Okay.
Yeah, and George, I have a question. I'm kind of saying you're the money guy on this. I like the idea of her putting it in a trust, because then that takes the responsibility off of the brother and the son, so that she's not, you know what I mean, where it's your wishes and you legislated it through the trust, and the trustee is the one that makes the decision based on your wishes, and it takes that off of him. That might be a good way to go.
There's a relational component here where it puts them in an awkward position, and I don't know whether they would get in a quarrel if she gets this percent and he gets this percent. I don't know what their relationship is.
Yeah, it's tentative just because they're estranged. She's on the West Coast, he's on the East Coast, and so they don't have a lot of communication, but I'm hoping that will change now that she's, sober and productive.
Yeah. Well, you're under no obligation to do anything with this money. You could give it to a stranger on the street if you want. So anything they do get is an absolute blessing from you, and there's nothing that goes, well, you're my mom, so you have to give me the money. There's none of that. And if there's that level of entitlement, then they're not getting it. So I think having the honest conversation with them is key, though. Don't let this happen where they find out after you pass and now it's a huge fight. That's not the legacy you want to leave. So I would have the conversation as soon as possible and let them know where things stand.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys.
Thanks so much for the call, Barbara. Awesome. All right, let's move on to Dan. He's in Portland, Maine. Dan, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thank you very much for taking my call.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm a little late to the old baby start plan, or the baby steps.
You're right on time, man. Never too late.
All right. Well, I got the emergency fund taken care of. I got the focus on the debts. Everything's paid off except for the house. But I happen to have 2 kids in college. So step 5 kind of snuck up the list on me. And I took out a HELOC loan to kind of be a safety net to cover the college tuition cost. Well, hear me out here, please. So I took that out just to basically have money to pay for school, because I had been working on paying down everything, and that I didn't have an adequate emergency fund to, send big checks off to colleges. But so now that you already said, oh, no, once, I'm sure you're going to say it even louder this next time, but I just want to hear your thoughts on it. So I'm thinking about where the HELOC is an adjustable interest rate, and it's probably going to start ratcheting up. And I'm looking at my 401k, and it is underperforming currently after having a good previous year. And I'm thinking about taking out a loan to wipe out the HELOC.
No! Dan, come on, dude. I was rooting for you. You had me in the first half. What's going on here? You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're talking about a safety net. Debt is a terrible safety net. When you owe people money, you don't have safety.
True. Would it not be better just to owe myself?
No, you're robbing from your future, dude. You're 53. I want you to retire with dignity. Your kids are going to have to take care of you after you died on the sword to help pay for their college so that you could go into debt. This is a terrible sacrifice.
Okay, so
I want you to put your own mask on first, and that means we're going to get you out of debt. We're going to get Dan investing 15% of his household income, and they can be on their own for college. You're under no moral obligation to foot the bill. Now, I know you want to, and you can help beyond the 15% after you're investing 15%, and this is after we pay off the debt, which means we are not investing until this HELOC's paid off. And then we're going to start investing 15%, and you can do catch-up contributions as well at your age to help you get on the right foot for retirement. So how much do you have in retirement right now?
About $400,000.
Okay, that's comforting. I was hoping you would have a number that had a few zeros on it. So that's good. Yeah. But we need to get that number a little higher so that you can retire and not be freaking out about how you're going to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So the kids are on their own right now, and that's okay. Have the honest conversation with them. Say, hey, kids, I want you to become debt-free, stay debt-free, but right now Dad's got to take care of his debt. He's got to take care of his own retirement so that I'm not a burden to you in 10 years, in 15 years, in 20 years.
Any thoughts on the fact that basically I have a 7-year college span, and this is year 5. Like basically the oldest boy is already completely paid off.
Well, you guys need to make a plan together, and that looks like scholarships and part-time work and a lot of hustle. But at the end of the day, it's on them, the decisions they make. Wishing the best for you, Dan. Stick to the plan. Don't do Dan's plan. Do Dave's plan. It's worked for millions of people for 30 years. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. My thanks to Ken Coleman, all the folks in the booth making the show happen, and you, America. We'll be back with you before you know it.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I'm George Camel, Ramsey personality and host of the Fine Print podcast, joined today by Ken Coleman, best-selling author and host of The Ken Coleman Show, and we are here to take your calls, answer your questions, and give you hope, to give you the next right step for wherever you're dealing with in life. So if you want to talk work, you want to talk money, relationships, boundaries, moving careers, moving states, we are happy to talk about it. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Madison kicks us off. She's in Lubbock, Texas. Madison, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, how are y'all?
Doing great. How can Ken and I help?
All right, so I just had a question. I'm still in college right now. I only work part-time. I don't have any debt. I guess I'm in baby steps 4 through 7. I invest about 15%, but that doesn't, I can only invest into a Roth right now. And I'm not able to max out the Roth, only doing 15%. I just don't know I don't have many expenses or anything, so I'm just kind of wondering what to do with all the money I've set aside.
Madison, you are incredible.
In savings.
You're 20 years old, and you're talking like someone who has a lot more wisdom than most 20-year-olds I run into. So way to go, first of all. So how much money do you have saved?
I have $40,000 in savings, and that's aside from my 6-month emergency fund.
Wow. How did you save this money up?
Just throughout life, I don't spend money hardly.
Do you have any fun? I want to make sure you're still having some fun at 20 years old.
Yes, I do. I'm in a few clubs and stuff like that, and I'm able to go out and do some fun things with friends. So
okay, good.
How
good,
long?
good.
I'm curious because there's a reason why I'm asking this. How old were you when you first started saving money? Of that $40,000, how far back does that go?
My parents actually set up that savings account. Whenever we were really little, and all of our, birthday money and gifts like that from grandparents went into it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was probably 18, it was at about $18,000.
Wow.
And then the rest is just from working part-time jobs, babysitting, dog sitting, just extra money I get. I put in there.
Good for you. That's
so your parents got a hold of these Ramsey principles, and they instilled it in you, and you said, yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, sir. That's true.
God bless. That's incredible. Okay, so let's talk about this money. How soon until you're done with college? You're 20 right now. Are you're next year? 2 years?
I have a year and a half. I graduate December 23.
Okay. Now, are you able to cash flow the rest of your college?
Yes, my college is paid for.
Fantastic. Well, this money to me becomes Madison's adult fund when she's out of college, and you would get a job. What are you studying right now?
Construction engineering.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Great field. So if I'm you, I'm going to keep saving up money, and that money will then become a down payment on my first home. In fact, it would not shock me if you were able to pay cash for your first house with your level of diligence.
Okay. With that money, should I just keep putting it into savings, or should I be investing it somewhere so it can, grow a little faster, or how should that work?
I think if you're graduating in a year and a half and we don't know what life looks like, I'm going to just park that in a high-yield savings account, a money market account. You're probably going to get 0.5% on that money. But the point of that money is not to make money right now. The point of that money is to give Madison a leg up when she leaves college and she moves to where she's going to move and work where she's going to work, and she can afford a house in that area because of the diligence that she's had for years and years and years.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and keep investing at 15% too. That's fantastic. And as you get a job, you're going to probably have a 401k with that, with whatever you do in construction. Invest 15% of your total income into those things in good growth stock mutual funds. Pay off the house early. Madison is going to be a multi-millionaire by the time she's in her 30s and 40s.
Without question.
That gets me excited for the next generation, Ken. I love it. All right, let's move on to Michelle in Kansas City. Michelle, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. What's going on?
Yeah, so my husband and I are debt-free. We paid off about $46,000 last year and have been saving for a down payment on a house. And as you know, the housing market is crazy right now, and we were wondering if you recommend we wait for a house to come up in our price range and kind of sit tight with the money we have for the down payment, or if we should put some of the money we have saved towards the down payment towards paying for a master's degree in human resource development for me instead.
Oh, interesting. So you're either going with a house or education.
Yes, but we could also cash flow the master's if you prefer or you recommend.
So you're saying you could put the down payment on the house, get a house, and still cash flow the master's degree?
Yes, potentially.
When the house that's affordable pops open. So they're going to have to wait a little bit.
Yeah. So based on your budget, I wouldn't go outside of that. How much money do you guys have right now?
So we have about $52,000 aside from our $15,000 emergency fund. And we were hoping to put $40,000 toward a house, and then his parents were willing to give us a $20,000 gift toward our down payment.
Wow. So you'd have 60 down?
Yes, 60 down.
Why the masters?
So I'm interested in changing careers. I'm in an administrative role right now for a university, and I've always wanted to work more in policy. And so I feel like the HRD would give me that opportunity to kind of work in there and helping people get a job they love.
Wow. And so my question is the master's necessary to get there?
That's a good question. So I know the certification in human resources is kind of the industry standard. And so I recently started my position, so I kind of figured I needed to stay there for a while to get some longevity on my resume, and then thought this position allowed me to kind of work toward a degree at the same time.
Yeah, here's my point. I want you to do your homework. You're pretty clear on why HR and what you want to do when you're in HR, but you need to find out if the master's is necessary. Because if it's not, Michelle, guess what? That certification and relationship building is going to be more than enough for somebody as sharp as you, and then you don't have to spend that cash on something that you do not need. Now, if you want to get it, the fact that you guys can cash flow it, I got no problem with you getting it, but I just would never spend that time and money on something that you didn't have to have.
Good call there. So,
Right.
Michelle, what's your take-home pay?
So
Household.
together we net about $92 a year.
Okay. So have you done the math on what the payment would look like?
Yeah, so the whole degree is about $12,000.
Okay. So what I'm seeing for you is we're looking at about a $1,900 mortgage payment max is what I'm comfortable with on a 15-year fixed.
Mhm.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking too.
Which puts you guys at about $280 for a house. Is that reasonable for your area?
Yes, and it's kind of tough to come by that price range right now, just with the market and everything.
Yeah, well, I would keep saving up. Keep saving that down payment. If you can get 70 down, 80 down, that'll help with your budget. And you can go, okay, now we can get a house for $310. And we're still going to be in the clear. We're going to be able to afford this payment easily, pay it off easily, cash flow our masters easily. That's what I want for you guys, is to have margin. So yes, be patient. The housing market's crazy. Work with a great real estate agent and do it when the time is right and no sooner. Appreciate the call. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're not using Puretalk for your wireless, you're paying too much. Puretalk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to puretalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month.
We've walked with millions of people and their families to help them overcome their financial stress. And we found that money stress is just one of all kinds of ways we experience stress. People struggle with anxiety, loneliness, and stress all the time. And here's the good news. Our friend Dr. John Deloney has a new book available for pre-order called Own Your Past, Change Your Future, and it's selling like crazy because everyone wants and needs this book. It's a not-so-complicated approach to relationships, mental health, and wellness. And you are in for a treat. When you read this book, you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, it will challenge you, and if you take the steps that Dr. John Deloney outlines, you will be transformed. Just like Total Money Makeover transformed so many lives when it comes to money, I think this book is going to do the same for people's mental health and wellness. Own Your Past, Change Your Future will show you how to deal with different types of trauma, how to get connected to a community and make friends as an adult, and it'll show you the steps that you can take to change your thoughts and actions. Yes, it's possible. And here's why you should pre-order today. This is your last week to pre-order to get the ebook 2 weeks early. That's right. You'll get the ebook on April 5th before the book is even available to the public. So pre-order your copy of Own Your Past, Change Your Future for just $20 at RamseySolutions.com today. I'm George Camel, joined today by Ken Coleman. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. We are headed to Medford, Oregon. Jason joins us there. Jason, welcome to the show.
What's up, gentlemen? Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, how's it going? How can we help?
Well, in kind of a vehicle situation here, I have a 2013 Chevy Malibu. It has about 200,000 miles, so it's kind of towards the end of its life, but still runs well. It needs about $2,000 in repairs for an AC compressor and another piece for check engine light that needs to get replaced. So altogether, it's about $2,000. I did some shopping about 4 or 5 different places, found the cheapest one. It does get about 110 up here in the summer, so I think right now I can wait on the compressor, but the other piece is about 500. So I'm wondering, my question, my fear is, I guess, if I put the $2,000 into the vehicle, that's probably worth about $3,000. That something bigger could happen, and then I'm kind of stuck. And so I don't know. I don't have any debt besides my wife's vehicle and our home, no consumer debt. But I don't want to get into a payment. We have about $40,000 in savings, so I don't know what you guys think I should do.
So how much money did you say you have in savings?
About $44,000.
Wow. And how much of that is your emergency fund?
It's kind of everything all together. That's what we just have in our savings. It's kind of like emergencies, 3 to 6 months. That's just our nest egg, basically, while we still kind of work on baby step 2, which is getting rid of her vehicle, which she owes about $17,000 on my wife's car.
Okay, that's what I was confused about. Because if you're following our plan, you're going to have $1,000 in baby step 1, and then everything else is going to go towards the debt in baby step 2.
Right.
So how much is the total debt?
$17,000 for the vehicle, my wife's car, and there's no other debt besides our home.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Why don't we pay off the debt today, right? Which leaves us with $27,000, which a big chunk of that is going to be your emergency fund, right?
Right.
And then whatever's left, we upgrade you to a better car. I don't think it's worth putting $2,000 into a car that is worth $3,000.
No.
Unless you're going to recoup the repair costs, which I doubt it's going to bring the car up to a $5,000 or more value with 200,000 miles.
Right, and that's my biggest concern is that, if I fix it and the air is running great and the car's running great and then the transmission blows or something bigger happens, and I've wasted that $2,000, which I could have put into it.
Yeah, but Jason, we're telling you not to do that. So what's your 3 months? What's 3 months emergency for you guys? 3 months of income. What's the number?
Probably about maybe 6,000 to 7,000.
Okay, let's call it 10, just for round numbers here, which leaves you with 17. So you can go sell your car for what, $1,000 or $2,000 at this point?
I think a Kelly Blue Book would be about $3,000, but that's assuming that the AC is not working. I'm sure that would drop it a little bit.
Yeah, sell it for what it's worth right now with all the things. You take that cash and you put it on top of the 17 that George walked you up to, right? Because you've now paid off your wife's car and you guys have no debt.
Emergency fund in place, and you have a much better car.
And you don't even have to spend 17 plus. Because let's say you get $1,500 for the Malibu, okay? So now you got $18,500. You could buy a nice $10,000 car if you wanted to, and then you still pad your emergency fund. Why?
Yeah.
So with us laying this out, why wouldn't you do that?
No, I think that's the best thing. I think that's kind of what I was talking myself into. I just get a little nervous, with the 44 being all we have besides our investments and my 401k and
but you're not even depleting
pension and all that.
You're still going to have $20K sitting in there.
You have a nice emergency fund.
And if you want it to be closer to 6 months, just get a cheaper car and go, all right, I'm going to buy an $8,000 car.
Yeah.
Right.
So we can have 30 in there.
Okay, well, you guys pretty much made me feel a little bit better about the decision because I didn't want to put that much into a vehicle, which I feel like is kind of heading towards the end.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. But you gotta follow our plan, or you can follow Jason's plan. And I'll tell you, our plan works, and it sounds like Jason's plan's on the fritz. This car is not doing so hot. So I'm not going to put the repairs in. Let's just sell it. Let's get a better car. Let's pay off the debt today. Never go back into debt again. And you've got the pad because this emergency fund exists today. You got this. All right, let's go to Alfred in Houston, Texas. Alfred, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. How can we help?
Okay, so I'm in baby step number 2 right now, and I'm kind of running to like not a problem, but a decision to make. So I have a balance on a credit card that's $3,500, and then I have another one that's $4,500. But the one that's $3,500, I think I have a judgment on it. So I don't know how to approach this because I haven't even come into contact with them.
Is that all of your debt?
Yeah, so far I'm already towards the end. I've been at it for like 3 months now.
Okay. So you've got $8,000 left in credit card debt, and that's it?
Yes.
How much money do you have right now to your name?
Well, now I have about $1,500. That's
Okay.
with my emergency fund.
So let's call that your baby step one, $1,000. Everything outside of that we need to be thrown at this debt. What do you know about this judgment? Did it go to collections?
Yeah, it happened like when I was 18. I'm 23 now.
This is
I was in
5-year-old
West
debt.
Texas. Yeah, this is an old debt whenever I was,
Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to be proactive and get on the phone with them, with the collection agency, have them verify this debt in writing, which means they need every single detail that tells exactly what kind of debt this is, what was paid, the charges, and if they can't provide that, they have to throw it away illegally. So once you get that letter in writing, I want you to get on the phone and say, hey, I'm willing to give you money. This is a 5-year-old debt. I've got $500. That's it. That's all I can do. Will you settle for $500?
Okay.
And chances are they're going to do it. They may go a little higher, but you got to be ready to pay on the spot. So I'd be stacking cash right now as much as you can, working your tail off.
No installment plans.
Do not give them access to your checking account under any circumstances. No. Right now this debt's been sitting there dormant, right? You haven't been paying anything on it. That's why I went to collections.
I haven't come in contact since it happened. So
you may have a chance at negotiating, but at the end of the day, this is your debt and you owe it. So whatever they say, right. Here's what we can do to settle it. Say, I want to settle this thing in full as a lump sum. I've got $500 and see what they say. And once you negotiate that debt, whatever it is, they may say $1,000 and you've got that money in cash ready to go. Pay off that debt and then move on to that last credit card. And then please, for the love, never go into credit card debt again. Can you promise me that?
Never again.
Don't touch debt. Once you pay all that off, we're building the emergency fund. We're going to build for the future instead of paying for the past. That's going to give you some great footing, some great foundation, so you can start building your life, man. You're so young, and you got your whole life ahead of you, but we got to stop playing games. And I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
Call us back when you're debt-free, okay?
Yes, sir.
Love to hear it. There we go. Another one in the books. Good stuff there. Give us a call, 888-825-5225. Let's talk about your work, your money, all of the things that matter to you, what you're worried about, excited about, the highs and lows of life. That's what we're here for. I'm George Campbell, joined by Ken Coleman. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman.
This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Campbell, joined today by Ken Coleman. And in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Brandon and Madeline join us. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Where are you from?
From Brunswick, Maine. We're currently living in Connecticut, though.
Lovely. New Englanders. I like that. Big fan. Okay, so how much debt have you guys paid off?
We've paid off just shy of $91,000.
Fantastic. How long did that take?
Approximately 18 months.
Woo! What was your range of income during that time?
Our range of income was approximately $120 and then bumped up to about $138.
Awesome. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm in the Marine Corps and
I'm a nurse.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for your service, both of you. Incredible. Okay, so you guys look pretty young. Am I right?
Thank
to
you.
say that?
Yes.
Okay, I won't ask ages yet, but we'll get there. Sharp couple here if you're watching on YouTube. So, what type of debt was this $91,000?
We had student loans debt, car payments, and a credit card.
So you were pretty much normal.
Yeah.
You just learned early on that you live life with payments. Everyone's got a car loan payment. Everyone opens the credit card at 18 to build a credit score. Everyone gets a student loan. And you decided 18 months ago that you weren't going to be normal anymore. You weren't going to be average. What happened that got you guys on this journey?
Well, I had a Dave Ramsey Total Money Makeover book at home that my dad gave me when I was like 17. Hadn't read it. And then Brandon, we were thinking about getting married, and he had read it, and he was really big into it, so I read it. And that kind of started it
So
off.
it was a coaster for a while, and you're like, oh, yeah, I think my dad gave me that
I think
book.
that sounds familiar. It's on my bookshelf with dust.
And he went, no, you should read this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Was that your nudge to go like, hey, if you wanna be married to me, like, we got to get on this plan?
Kind of. I was very like, oh, we'll just pay it off. It'll be great. And he's like, well, what's the plan? I was like, well, we'll just pay it off. It'll be great. And he was like, well, what's the plan?
He's a Marine. He needs a plan.
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
Yes,
so
a
how long
mission.
you guys been married?
About 19 months.
Oh, wow. So as soon as you guys got married, you got started on this plan.
Yes.
You got back from
Yeah.
the honeymoon and went for it.
We started before we got married. I feel like we were
both doing it on our own, and then once we got married, we wanted to start the marriage off on the right foot. It was super important to us that we were on the same page and we could get going in the right direction from day one.
That's incredible. So you guys were both on board day one. Did you feel the momentum when you guys combined finances and went, okay, this is our debt now. We're attacking all this together?
Yeah, that was very significant because, like she said, I had the book too when I was younger. It was funny. I think there's a second car loan I got. The loan officer actually gave me the book when I signed that day.
Wow. Was he
so
like throwing shade? Like, hey, son, you may want to read this.
No, I think she was just trying to push people in the right direction. I read it and just couldn't gain a lot of traction, was doing what I could. And but combining income really made a significant impact for us and pushing through and getting to where we are now.
Wow. That's incredible.
So I got to ask for couples, especially, I love hearing when you got two different worldviews in some sense, right? Coming together, different experiences in life. Now here we are, we're married, we're going to do this thing. How long did it take before you really sense momentum? Can you remember back? Like how long to figure it out?
I guess I'm speaking for myself, but I thought it was right away because I felt like the most encouraging part throughout it was having him to talk to about it, and we were encouraging for one another, and just talking about paying it off and our plans for the future was really encouraging.
The
So
snowball helped, Ken.
Yeah.
We had a lot of those little federal loans, and seeing those go away fast was super encouraging. It wasn't until we got to my Parent Plus loan that was essentially half of the debt, and that was the last piece. And we were like, all right, we got to climb this hill, and then we'll be there.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. So what was the hardest part of this journey?
For me, it was driving my 06 Corolla. I paid cash for that after we moved from Connecticut. We got married. Moved from California to Connecticut and got married. I sold my SUV, and I had that part paid off, but I needed a cash vehicle, and we didn't have a whole lot of income after cash flowing the wedding. So that was hard for me. And
probably getting married and like wanting to like set up a house and get a nice apartment.
Do all the fun newlywed
the fun stuff.
And he's
instead
like,
it was
no,
like,
we're
gonna wait. And
we are broke.
Yeah, which was worth it because all the stuff I thought I liked, I don't actually like anymore. So it worked out well.
Nice.
Yeah.
So now you're debt free and you know how you want to decorate.
Right.
So this is an added bonus.
Give it a little while in marriage, you know? People want to rush in and do all the stuff. You don't even know each other yet.
I know.
All right, so I got to ask, is there a fun sacrifice or something crazy like maybe you ate that you'll never eat again? I mean, how intense was this? Anything like that?
We really like to eat out. So
we do really like to eat out. That was probably the hardest part for us together. Is just Friday, Saturday nights. We probably went out to eat more than we should have. But we paying attention to the budget and realizing how much we were spending on restaurants at the beginning, and then cutting that back and really seeing it that. The Every Dollar Budget app is great, and that really helped us with the communication and seeing and making the progress that we needed to.
That's awesome. So what do you tell people, especially a young couple like you, sitting there with almost 6 figures in debt, and they're going, well, we'll just never pay it off. What do you tell them the key to getting out of debt is?
I mean, probably talking about it. Like, where do you spend your money? Like, why are you buying the beauty products, or like, why are you buying the fly fishing stuff? Like, why do you really need it? Like, and
so
not
communication, accountability,
like, non-confrontational, but like pleasant. Like, do you really need it? And I don't know. And then just communicating.
The communication portion, especially with the budget and looking at it and seeing what's important and where we can cut, and having those conversations at the beginning of the month, and just knowing that going into it, we had a plan. We did really well certain months, and certain months we struggled, but at least we could see where we needed to make strides the following month, and just get better along the way, and we did.
You guys are inspiring. We're so proud of you. Do you guys have any cheerleaders along the way?
I mean,
yeah, our parents were super supportive, and then over here to my right is the O'Neill family, Steve and Isabella. I served with Steve in California, and he and I would listen to the podcast every day in the shop, and we both were very encouraging as we progressed through our journeys. He's debt-free himself, and it's really awesome to get to stand here and have him with us today. So
that's fantastic.
Thank you both for your service. That is absolutely incredible.
Great
and we'd
Americans.
love to see them get debt-free, stay debt-free, have financial peace. That's incredible. Okay, so we've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you, and at your age, that is absolutely the next step. You guys are going to be millionaires before you know it. And we also have a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give to someone, for it to sit on the bookshelf for a little while. Here's a fun treat. Sneak a $20 bill, maybe even a $100 bill on a random page, and then see when they get in touch with you and tell you, hey, thanks for the $100. Did you mean to put this in here? That's how you know they read it.
That's
a little Easter egg, Ken.
George, it's a brilliant idea.
Thank you.
That'd drive me crazy, though, waiting on the call.
That's true. Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? Still a coaster.
Struggle with that.
Well, we're so proud of you guys. So glad that you made the trip from New England to join us today. And we've got a little one with us today.
Yeah.
Who's this?
It's our baby boy, Ander. He's 7 weeks old.
Look
oh,
at
my
that
goodness.
little guy.
How does a 7-week make the trip?
He's dressed in his Sunday best.
He is. I love the
So
khakis.
handsome.
I love the khakis on the little guy.
It was a long drive, but we made it.
Oh, you drove. Yeah, that's impressive. Well, we appreciate it. And what's the name and age?
Ander, he's 7 weeks.
Ander at 7 weeks. Just precious. You got to watch on YouTube to see this. Okay, you guys have put in the work. 18 months of a slog. Very impressive. It's Brandon and Madeline and Ander from the New Haven, Connecticut area. $91,000 paid off in 18 months, making $120 up to $138. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Oh, sweet Ander just got woken up. I saw it coming.
He got so spooked by that.
He did. He was sound asleep. Oh, that's fun.
He was awoken by the sound of debt freedom. Is there a sweeter sound?
That's a great little picture there.
Thank you. And I think we've got is that from Braveheart, the sound?
Yes.
There we go. All right. James saying don't mention that. Now the FCC is going to be on our tail.
Boy.
It's fine.
Oh, boy.
Man,
We'll
I'm
talk
inspired
about
by
that
couples
after
like
the
that,
show.
Ken.
I am too. You know why? Because of that little dude. You know, they did all that work. Here he is. He has no clue how much sacrifice his mom and dad have made to set him up. And also, you know, that's a Marine over there.
Yeah.
That's pretty stinking cool, too.
It's rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
Love to see it. Appreciate you guys being with us. Love to hear stories like that. Hey, you can be debt-free, too. You can be the next Brandon and Madeline on this stage, but it's going to take some work and sacrifice, but it is always going to be worth it. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day comes from Proverbs 21:5. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. Henry David Thoreau said, "What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals." Ooh, I bet Ken Coleman loves that one.
I do like that.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's really good because it's about the journey.
Identity.
It's about the process, right?
Yeah.
It's the achievement kind of, when you get there, you kind of like, I achieved, but I'm still the same person per se as it relates to your lot in life, but you're a better individual, you're more complete, you're more skilled, you're more experienced, whatever it is.
Yeah, and it ties back
That's
to
why I
that
like
proverb. You know, you get rich quick. It didn't really change your character, but you put the sacrifice in to get out of debt, to invest over time consistently. Yeah. Man, that changes you.
James doesn't just pull those randomly, George.
I know.
He picks those because they fit together.
James is a genius, even though he doesn't choose them, but it's fine.
Oh,
it's
James
fine.
doesn't choose them?
No, it's our friend Dawn. She works very hard.
That's unfortunate. I need to pay attention to my
learning.
production notes.
And with that, let's go to the phones. That's where Ken's better off. Kara joins us there. She is in Phoenix, Arizona. Kara, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Yes, hi. I have a question for you guys.
We love questions.
About when. The question I asked Kaylee is, when do I start feeling the financial peace that Dave talks about? Because I'm in 4, 5, and 6, and I still don't feel very peaceful in my budget.
Why?
Well, I don't know, and I think it might just be a contentment thing like you were talking about yesterday. But we bring home $120,000. Well, our income is $120,000. We're investing 15%. We have $100 going into the 529s for the kids. We have the bi-weekly, monthly mortgage payments, so we're paying that off faster. But at the end of the month, we might only be able to save like $300 or $500 after all the investments for like our next vacations or for Christmas or for the next car we need to buy. And we're thinking about having baby number 3, and it just feels like we don't have enough extra money to do all those things. I don't know.
Ah, okay.
So, Kara, tell me about your debt-free journey. How stressful was that, where you started?
Well, it was a little different because I've always been debt-free, and I married my husband. I took my savings account. We wiped out his debt, and then when he wanted to get his master's degree, we moved in with my parents, and we cash flowed the whole thing.
So you guys have been in go mode for a long time.
Yeah, I didn't have a typical baby step 2. After we lived in my parents' house and paid for his degree in cash, we bought our house, and then I don't know. It just kind of, our budget is different than most people's who like rolled their debt into their savings. I don't know.
So if I hear this correctly, you're doing all the steps. It's great, but you don't have as much money as you'd like to be able to save, to be able to spend, to do some things that you want to do. So are your other expenses too high, or do you guys just not have enough income based on where you are in your part of the world? I just don't see Phoenix being that crazy. So what's missing here?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, daycare is super expensive. I have 2 kids under 5, and we both work full time. So that's more than our mortgage right there. That's like a $1,500 monthly. And maybe that'll be gone in a year or so.
Well,
that'll help.
Well, when does the first one go to school?
A year from this fall. So it's still 2023 in the fall. Mm-hmm. But then that's when we're thinking, but if we have another baby, that's just more, I don't know, we want to have more kids, but we feel like we can't afford it, which feels weird because we're debt-free and we make 6 figures.
Yeah, you can afford it. It's just it feels like a crunch right now. What if you guys dialed back on the extra mortgage payoff temporarily?
Well, yeah, and that's what I was wondering is, okay, and another part of my question is, would it be crazy if we dialed back on investing instead of 15%, put it down to like 10 or 8?
Yes, that would be crazy.
To buy a new car.
I don't want your sweet kids to have to take care of you in your old age because you dialed back investing to take care of them.
I thought if I didn't listen to Ramsey and yesterday I got a car loan, today Dave Ramsey would tell me to stop investing to pay off the car loan. So that's kind of where I was coming from.
Yeah, but George
you don't have any debt.
George told you to slow down on your extra mortgage payment.
Yeah, that's different. That's baby step 6.
How much is that? So let's just be real practical.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, wait a second.
The extra mortgage payment feels like it's only $600 every 6 months. That doesn't seem that much. So like every month we're putting $1,500 into retirement. That
all right, so
like
let me ask. Okay, so let me ask another question. What are some other options for the child care that don't cost as much as you're paying right now? What are some other options?
I don't know. We haven't really looked into other options.
I'd be looking into other options.
So,
you know what I'd be thinking? Yeah. I'd be going, what if we found a really awesome grandmother who maybe her grandkids live 2 or 3 states away. She's retired. She's very responsible. She wants something to do. What would it cost to pay her to watch our kids versus the very expensive child care? Just something to think about.
Yeah, I would be doing a budget audit.
Sure.
I'd go through. Are you guys doing a monthly budget? And sticking to it?
Yeah, we're on every, and that's kind of where my husband gets stressed from. He's like, how come we only have a few $100s when we go over the budget when we're...
Well, it's because you guys are responsible. When the money's just floating away into spending, you're like, we're having a great time, and we're not saving for college, and we have nothing in retirement.
You guys are in great
No,
shape.
we budget every dollar. I'm on it.
Okay, I think there's two issues here, and I was just kind of trying to brainstorm for you, but I would be looking to cut expenses in the child care if possible, and then I would be going, wait a second, let's make some more money. You guys want really awesome vacations, then what can the hubs do as a weekend side hustle from time to time and pay for a vacation? If he worked, and I'm just making this up, but if he were to go pick up a landscaping job during a really intense season where it's busy or manual labor and he makes $4 or $5 grand over 2 or 3 months, or we just paid for vacation. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, instead of being stressed, why don't we get busy? Why don't we go, okay, we want a $4,000 vacation. I'm making that up, or whatever. Then we go, okay, how do we get that over and above what we're already doing? Because you're doing everything right.
Yeah, and if you have those sinking funds in place, you may not have a ton of margin, but when it comes time to go on that vacation, the money's sitting there. So yes, you may not have tons of money extra, but that's because you're giving it a name, and that's going towards the vacation.
And you're getting ahead. I think you guys need a perspective change. I think you need to see yourselves not as we don't have enough left to spend each month, as opposed to going, we're being very disciplined and we're getting ahead and we're making traction every month. Now, if we want some extra money, go make it. Go make some extra money.
He's a therapist. I think he could pick up more hours for sure.
Of course he
There's a need for his job.
And shop around your insurance rates. Go through every single line item, every single premium, and go, are we getting the best rate? Let me check. Because you do that with your cable, your internet.
Hey.
You cut some things.
It's a great point. We have don't we still have that coverage checkup tool, George?
Yeah, RamseySolutions.com/checkup. It'll tell you what insurance you actually need, what you don't need, and you can reach out to
you
our
may
friends.
save $100, maybe more. But hey,
I'd be going through with a fine-tooth comb in every piece of my budget, going, how can I shave this down?
That
and then
child
how do I
care.
bring the
I'm
income
going to tell
up?
you something, and I'm passionate about this because we were fortunate to not to have to pay for child care. But there were times where Stacy did work where we did, but we went the non-traditional. We found older ladies who we trusted, who we knew. And we saved a lot of money. Childcare is insane how expensive it is.
So expensive, yeah.
It is. If you could cut costs there, that would be massive.
And remember, it's not forever. So this is not the next 30 years of your
before
life.
you know it, the kid's in school. But I would look the retired grandmother route. Somebody wants to make a little extra money. Oh, we got a lady jumping up and down in the lobby. She's like,
ready.
that's me.
Sign her up.
Oh, does she want to move to Phoenix?
I don't think so. She's literally sprinting after one of her grandchildren, and she's going to pull a muscle, George.
I can't vouch for her, Ken. I don't know her.
Yeah.
But Kara,
we don't know her.
I want you guys to look back at what you've accomplished and write it all down. Write the things that you're proud of that you've accomplished. Write down the things you're grateful for. I think that will help you create some of this contentment in your life that you're jonesing for. Because a lot of people listening are going, "Oh my gosh, I wish I had that income. Oh my gosh, I wish I was debt free.
Yeah,
I wish I had their problems."
I got to tell you something, Carrie. You're a rock star. You and your husband, because you're walking the baby steps out. Can I just tell you need to remove can't? You said the word can't 2 or 3 times. You can save up money for your vacation. You can make extra money for Christmas. You can do all those things. Get busy.
Ooh. Little mic drop there from Ken Coleman to end today's show. I'm not mad about it.
All right.
Well, that puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. My thanks to my fantastic co-pilot, Ken Coleman. All the folks in the booth, Kelly, Ben, James, Nathan, Zach, Andrew, you name it. They're in there making the show happen. And you, America, we appreciate you listening. We couldn't do the show without you. Until next time, remember to spend wisely, save intentionally, and give generously. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.